What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Definitely hit that notification bell if you want to see more content like this. So today, Robert Eggers, he's added a fourth member to the cast of his remake of Nosferatu, the vampire movie. This article comes from Rotten Tomatoes website and it reads, Robert Eggers' recent Viking epic, The Northman, which had an 89% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, featured three returning cast members from his 2015 film The Witch. I have not seen The Witch. Apparently it is a very good movie. I really must try and do better. Try and catch it if you can. It starred Anya Taylor-Joy, Kate Dickie and Ralph Ineson. So far, however, the cast of his remake of the 1922 German vampire silent film Nosferatu, which was an adaptation of Bram Stoker's Dracula, has only included actors that Eggers hasn't worked with before, namely Nicholas Hoult, Lily Rose Depp and, as the film's titular vampire, Bill Skarsgård. Now, for those of you who are not 100% familiar with the movie Nosferatu, I did make a video earlier. If you want to go and watch that, you can. However, Nosferatu is a 1922 silent German expressionist horror film. It was directed by F.W. Murnau and it starred Max Schreck as Count Orlok, a vampire who preys on the wife of his estate agent and brings the plague to their town. Now, Nosferatu was an unauthorised and unofficial adaptation of Bram Stoker's 1897 novel Dracula, and it was a bit of a game changer as far as the horror genre was concerned because it was absolutely terrifying. I mean, look, you horrible bastard, get away from me. Imagine that coming at you. Horrendous. So it goes on to say about the cast that the fact that he's used people, so far he's using people that he hasn't used before, but that's changed with the remake's fourth cast member because it's Willem Dafoe, who starred in The Lighthouse, which got 90% score on Rotten Tomatoes. He had a key supporting role in The Northman as well. He's now in talks for an undisclosed role in Nosferatu. Two likely possibilities for Dafoe's character are the film's anecdotes for Dr. Van Helsing and even the vampire's assistant Renfield. Those names weren't used in 1922 original, but they were in Werner Herzog's previous 1979 remake, also called Nosferatu. This is where it gets interesting. This is where all the vampire connections come in. Because I've done a little bit of digging around and I can't believe how many connections there are to vampire movies within all of the actors and people that are involved with just 2 or 3 movies that are mentioned here. So it says it's worth noting that Willem Dafoe has a previous history with Nosferatu. He starred as the actor Max Schreck in a film called Shadow of the Vampire, and it's a fictionalised retelling of the filming of Nosferatu. I looked it up a few days ago. I think it's actually on YouTube. The whole movie's on YouTube. It's got some pretty good actors in the movie itself if you go and have a look at it. So this is Shadow of the Vampire, alright? This is it here. You can see Willem Dafoe there playing Count Orlok, but he also plays Max Schreck, and it's a kind of a little reimagining. It's a kind of a horror movie where Max Schreck was an actual vampire that they hired to play Count Orlok, if you see what I mean. So it's not a true account of what actually happened, because obviously he wasn't a real vampire. But some of the people involved in it, you've got John Malkovich was in there, he played F.W. Murnau. Willem Dafoe plays Max Schreck, or Count Orlok. Udo Kier, now there's the first of many interesting people. Udo Kier is a German actor. He kicked off his career, I think, as a boy in 1966 and went on to star in a great many movies, some of which include, he actually played Dracula in, I don't know how many horror fans are out there, if you've ever heard of Andy Warhol's Dracula, also known as Blood for Dracula, in 1974, Udo Kier actually played Dracula. He was also in a movie called Blood Rain in 2004, which was about vampires. He starred in, well, he appeared in Dracula 3000 in 2004. He also played Dragonetti in Blade in 1998. Now, Cary Elwes, he actually played Lord Arthur Holmwood in Bram Stoker's Dracula back in 1992. Another connection. Willem Dafoe, who's about to appear in Nosferatu remake, was in a movie called The Hunger, which was directed by Tony Scott nonetheless. He was in Daybreakers in 2009.
We're the folks with the crossbows.
He was also in the same year Cirque du Freak, the vampire's assistant in 2009.
Save that stuff for the enemy. He's just an idiot kid.
Let's just go back to the article a minute. It goes on to say there's no release date yet for Robert Eggers' Nosferatu, but it will likely be after this year's 2 Dracula-inspired films, one of which is Renfield. Now Renfield, Nicolas Cage is playing Dracula. Nicholas Hoult is playing Renfield.
I need to get out of a toxic relationship.
In a Dracula movie. Now Nicholas Hoult is in Eggers' remake of Nosferatu, so there's another connection. It also stars, oh god, Aquafina. Horrible. Let's just rewind just a little touch here, because we've got the lighthouse. Here's another connection. The lighthouse.
Went mad, he did.
Now, if you're not familiar with this movie, The Lighthouse is a 2019 film directed and produced by Robert Eggers from a screenplay that he co-wrote with his brother, Max. It stars Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson. And guess what? Pattinson played a vampire, a sparkly vampire in Twilight. Yet another connection. Everybody's a vampire. Conspiracy theory, everyone's a vampire. Another vampire connection that I found was Lily Rose Depp. Her father Johnny Depp starred in Dark Shadows, which was about a vampire. It also starred Chloe Grace Moretz, who was in a film, well, it was an adaptation called Let Me In. It was an adaptation of the Swedish novel Let the Right One In. Amazing! So anyway, to round off, there's 2 Dracula-inspired films coming out this year. One's called Renfield. Now, I looked at Renfield and looked at the people in it. It looks pretty decent. I watched the trailer and it absolutely looks hilarious. So I urge you to go and watch the trailer for Renfield. I think that's going to be great when it comes out. I'm definitely going to go and see that at the cinema. It stars Nicholas Hoult as the titular character. It's got Nicolas Cage as Dracula, for God's sake. What more could you ask for? But it looks really funny, so I'm going to recommend that you go and see that. Also, this is an interesting one, and I didn't know anything about it. It's called Last Voyage of the Demeter. Oh, sorry, Renfield's out on the 14th of April. Last Voyage of the Demeter is out on the 8th of November this year. Right, and it's about the ship that transported Count Dracula to England in the Bram Stoker novel. I'm not sure how much detail it goes into in the novel of the actual voyage from Carpathia to what was actually Whitby in north of England, but this film is based around that. The Last Voyage of Demeter. Based on a single chapter, the captain's log from Bram Stoker's classic 1897 novel Dracula, the story is set aboard the Russian schooner Demeter, which was chartered to carry private cargo 24 unmarked wooden crates from Carpathia to London. The film will detail the strange events that befell the doomed crew as they attempt to survive the ocean voyage. Stalked each night by a terrifying presence on board the ship. When it finally arrived near Whitby Harbour, it was a derelict. There was no trace of the crew. Nice one. Anyway, that's the end of that article. So Willem Dafoe is going to be joining the cast and crew of Nosferatu. To be honest, I don't know who's scarier, Willem Dafoe coming at you out the dark, or Count Orlok with his big barley head and his fingers like parsnips coming at you, trying to strangle you with his 12 inches, like Freddy Krueger, but with fingers. Horrible. Anyway, I'm looking forward to it. Don't know about you. Let me know in the comments section down below what you think this movie's going to be like. Let me know what you think of all the interconnectivity that's going on in there. Once again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye now.